Hi, so I'm doing another tutorial, but in this one I wanted to add an intro to show the process of how I come about like creating my own collage pieces and then how I use them in my own paintings or art journaling. So I'm gonna go through the process of how I create them, which you can kind of see in previous videos, but I'll go through it again like quickly. And then I'll show how I add them to paintings, and then I'll also show some paintings where I have already used some, so you can kind of see just how I use them. Sorry if it's loud, I live next to the interstate, and of course all the loud cars and motorcycles decide to go by when I'm trying to record. It happens when I'm doing Zoom meetings, so thanks interstate. But yeah, so I just wanted to do this intro to show you kind of the process and also how I organize it's like a lot of pieces of paper, but I do put the collage pieces like in little packs if I'm getting ready to do a series of paintings or a series of like maybe art journaling like themes, and also just like any painting that I do I might want a certain color scheme or designs to add to it. So I'm going to show you all of that in this intro. It might be kind of a long intro, but I'm going to try to scale it down. But here we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna show, look at this cool little tripod. I recommend something like this. This is what I used to record the videos. But I'm gonna show how I add some of the collage pieces to paintings. So 1 second, please. Okay, so here, this is this painting that I did, whoa, a couple years ago. Like here you can see I used probably some stuff I got from like Walmart, and there was like a map. So I use collage and then I paint over that. Like here, the blue, that's from a piece of paper where I had added paint on something and then I kept the paper. And then also that little piece right there and that piece. Let's see, oh, I got too close. That piece. Okay, so on this one, I used quite a bit of my own like simple collage pieces. Here, in the little piano keys. This one, it's kind of hard to tell because I just use a lot of paint everywhere. I think, oh yeah, right here. Right here where it says BU, like I had written that, and I also, well, I wrote B. I must have written like a poem or something. And then that, I think I probably cut out from a magazine. But this too, like I know that these parts were from old pieces of paper that I had. There's that one. Okay, so here I also use some old papers. So definitely these two. And then maybe some underneath. I know the bottom part I did just paint, and then I added a lot of paper. There's a lot of paper underneath that's giving it the texture. But those two papers were old pieces of paper. I used some collage pieces from, again, probably Walmart. But there's some where I use like a top over here and then like right here. Like these are old papers where I colored over like this too, where I had my own collage pieces. Okay, so now I'm gonna show the box that I painted with all the stuff in it, and it's on the floor, but I didn't want to pick it up, so whee! Okay, so I am gonna pick the box up because it's really hard to try to show it while it's on the floor. Okay, so here's the box. Here's the box. As it attacks me. I just do like a drip down, a paint dripping down technique. And I have like stencils in the back. I have a piece of cardboard, I don't even know why. Probably will use it for a surface. There's another piece of cardboard. And some pieces of paper. And then I've got like all these small pieces of papers. Pieces of paper. I don't know if I said that right. Is my grammar correct? Is my grammar correct? This is like stuff that I got from Walmart. I always cut those up because I never really use like one big piece of paper. A collage piece. And then like there's some of my own stuff mixed in there. A little house. I don't know what I'll use that for. I just go through it and it's not like too messy. So this actually works really well for me. sit around and paint boxes to put painted papers in. This is my life. See, stuff's falling out of this, but here I have this too. And this, I keep twine, stickers, yarn. What else is in there? Lace. Come on, help me out. Buttons. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like I keep just little stuff in here. Even little pieces of the collage paper I keep in here. And this is stuff that I plan on using very soon. I have other stuff in my closet, just piling up. You gotta just keep getting supplies, even though it's piling up. But yeah, so those are my boxes. Just wanted to show you how I organize it. So these ones are like, they have a little bit of paint on them. And these are ones that I actually would add more to before using them as a collage piece. Just like kind of lightly, let's do this. Pick a card, any card. See that? It would be cool to add something to that too. I usually do this kind of stuff on just like regular printer paper, or you could do like loose leaf paper. Just really kind of thin paper. But yeah, these are ones that I would add more to, and I'll do that in the video. But I might just add like some shapes somewhere, or another color, like maybe some lines or something. Okay, so I showed the pieces of paper, the collage pieces, that I would add a little more to, so they might have like just a couple of colors of paint or just a little bit on the paper. Like these are already at a point where I would use them directly in a painting. Like I might cut this down, but these are kind of like ready to go. This guy could act as like a frame, maybe like this or something. I don't know. That looks very like army, huh? Like collage. I mean, camouflage. I don't know how to use my words. This one would be ready to go. These just have a little more going on. It doesn't necessarily have to have like a lot of paint, but it's just the amount of paint and the colors are like enough to where I feel like they would be ready to be added to a painting. Just like that. And there's these small ones, so I also do like cut them up. Like this was in one of the paintings I showed where the girl was holding a flower. So I had a bigger piece of paper, and I had paint in different areas. Like it was an abstract painting, and I cut it up. It wasn't an actual painting. It was just like, I mean, it was just like a lot of paint on a piece of paper. It wasn't like an elaborate painting. But so a lot of times, yeah, I'm dropping stuff everywhere, but I'll just do random designs, and then I'll cut them up. I'll cut the paper up, and then I'll just use it in something else. There's all these. So I just wanted to kind of show this. In this video, I wanted to first show just how I do this. How I'll take these, like this is so random, this piece of paper. It has random like strokes of paint and just like random designs. But I like using this kind of stuff for art journaling and even to add to my paintings like I showed earlier. And what I'll do is I'll put everything, I will have it organized in that box, in the box that I painted, and also the clear one that I showed with the twine and stuff. And so I like to keep things just organized. This, I have this paper over it. I had this organized so that I would know what to show you guys. But I do really keep the things organized like this, like in stacks, by how I would want to use them for the paintings. Now these, in my previous video, the one just before this, I did poetry, quote, and affirmation cards. So I'll just do like a background like this, something like that, and then I'll add words on top with either paint or paint markers. So, but sometimes I think the designs are really cool, so before I write on them, I'll actually go and get these printed on thinner printer paper from like FedEx or Office Max, and then I'll cut them up. I'll use them as mixed media paper, like collage paper. And then that way I get to hold on to these too and not have to cut them up. So it gives us thicker paper that I just print to use the collage. And then lastly, before I get started, I'll pick a few of these to show exactly what I'll be doing. So these are really thick pieces of paper, really thick, like mixed media paper. That already has something on it, but not too. So the whole point of me showing this intro, which is slowly getting very long, I'm sorry. So what I'll do is, I have the collage papers in either the plastic thing that I showed you or the box that I painted. It's all organized. And I will take the stacks, I'll take stacks of paper, I'll go through and maybe get like similar colors or designs. So this is a surface, right? So I'll take like maybe a collage piece that doesn't have a lot of painting and stuff, but I might want to add more to it. I'll add to it, and then I'll like maybe cut it up, and then it'll be ready. And I'm going to show you guys just how I kind of add it to like a surface, or even doing mixed media. Art journaling. So it's all mixed media. But I'll show you how I do it on either this or like in an art journal and use it as collage. Thanks for sticking around for this very long intro, and now I'll get started on the actual video. Okay, so here's my little stack of already ready to go mixed media pieces, collage pieces. So I'm just tying it up with this cute little ribbon type thing. I'm just gonna set that aside. And so these are the pieces that I was talking about where I could add a little bit more. And also I'm gonna cut some of these down, some of these bigger pieces of paper where I did random designs and backgrounds. So now I'm just gonna add paint to some of these. And again, some of these techniques are just some things that I did in previous videos. But this shows how I create these collage pieces. A lot of times it's not even on purpose, like it's literally just, I have old pieces of paper with paint on them and I don't want to just throw them away, so I'll just grab them, and if they need, I'll just add more paint or marker onto them. I'm doing this part pretty quickly, but again, I'm just doing the same kinds of techniques that I did in previous videos. If you want to go back and watch, just different techniques that I do. The main point of this video again is just to show how I get these, how I acquire these mixed media and collage pieces by doing my own painting and adding things to my own work. So I don't know if I've done this technique in any of the videos, but I'm just trying to get some paint on that white space, and I could try to paint around the green, but I found that it's easier to do a really light color, so like the yellow, and then just add a lot of water to it so it's kind of translucent or transparent. And doing the same thing here with the gold, like just add a lot of water and then take a piece of paper, put it over the paint, and a lot of that paint will come off of the color that was already on and that was dried, and it'll actually push the other color in more, like the wet paint. And this is just another technique that I did also on a previous video. And so this is again the way that I can create a painting, like on the main paper where I'm pulling the paint away. And then these little smaller pieces of paper that I'm using to pull away the paint, these are what I use as small collage pieces later on, like this one here. this one. So these smaller ones, they're just papers that I want to keep in order to add things to bigger paintings or to art journaling. So here I wanted to add even more to that one piece that I already did. So I just cut it and then I added a little bit more color. Here I'm adding some color. You can see my paint fell. That's okay. And I do a lot of like transferring paint and pulling away paint by putting a lot of the pieces of paper together. That's a fun way to come up with different textures. So now I'm cutting this one down. And then now I'm going to go into an old book where I art journal. And this background that's already on the pages is something I did in the previous video, where I was just showing how to add textures by adding different materials. So that was easy to have that ready to go so that I could show how I might add the little collage pieces in order to create a piece or to art journal. And I also had some thick parts sticking out, and the paper would have had a hard time sticking to it, so that's why I tore that piece out. But I think it kind of looks cool, tearing some of that paint away too from the page. So just adding a little bit of marker, a little bit of writing to go over that piece of paper that already has writing on it. And this is also a good way to practice if you're just getting started with painting, with mixed media work or collage, or if you've done it before but you haven't done it in a while. This is a good way to get back into it and to make use of little pieces of paper so you're not just wasting a bunch of paper. It's a really nice way to just practice. Now I'm tearing away some paper also. And I'm trying to keep with the color scheme, so I'm putting little parts of orange kind of all over the piece. And again, this is just a quick way to show how I use the collage pieces. And then now I'm going to move on to showing another quick way that I use these collage pieces. I also have done something that I call like framing. So literally I'll just take a small piece of paper where I've done some kind of painting on it, like a background, and then I'll just cut a frame and then put it over another piece. And you can also take a bigger piece of paper, put the frame on it, and cut around that. It's just another idea. And then here, it's going to be another example. Same with the old book where I was doing like an art journaling kind of thing. This is just a smaller version of it. This is a really good way to practice, even on a smaller piece of paper, if you don't have a lot of supplies. And another way to maybe brighten this up might be to write something over it with the marker. This is just another example of the way that I use the collage pieces. And so that's the end of this video, and I hope that it helped you come up with ways that you could reuse scrap paper and to practice your art making. And stay tuned for more videos.